On my channel, I'm gonna post the good, the bad, my flaws, anything that involves my career, welding, anything. I'm posting on here for y'all guys to know. Now, it's not always good, guys, and yes, it's true, I did fail a weld test. I know why I failed it. I'm gonna get into that video on why I failed, because I actually have plenty of footage of me testing, showing you everything, breaking it down to you. And even me going to the job site, I was actually already welding whenever they told me that my weld test has failed. But it worked out for me though, because when they sent me home, I got another call. Shout out to the homie Edwin. He's the one who hooked it up for me with another contact of doing some repairs at a water plant. So I locked that in. The job, it went okay. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I feel like I kind of underbid it. I'll get more into the info and show y'all more footage of that too, because I have plenty of footage of me at the water plant and kind of show y'all what's going on. But before we get into the video, man, shout out to our sponsor, Isaiah, for sending me these steel-toe Chelsea boots. I do recommend these type of boots if you're a heavier set guy, because they're actually pretty wide. It also has the dual pull tabs, making it easier to put on or take off. Comes with the elastic fabric. It's much easier to break these boots in. They are electric hazard resistant, water resistant, compression resistant, cool max technology that transports moisture away from your skin to the surface of the fabric where it evaporates quicker, keep you cool and dry and comfortable. Slip and heat resistant, protective toe impact and compression resistant, electric hazard resistant, providing you with compressive health in your work life. Anti-fatigue and comfortable arch support. I'll have a link in the description box below if you're interested in these boots. Guys, so before I get into the test, I want to give a major shout out to my homeboy Victor Castillo. He's the one who plugged me up with this job. He calls me, I think it was Wednesday night. He's like, hey man, I need an extra welder. Be all 60-10, 70-18. There's about 40-50 welds that need to be done, but I need you to test the next day. So I submit all my info. Next day comes, around 7, he calls me. He's like, hey, we're good to go to the test lab. Now, usually anytime I have a weld test, I like to practice regardless of how many times that I took the weld test. I always practice when I feel a little different. Now, if you've been following my channel, I've been doing my welding shop for almost 7 months now, and all I've been doing is structural welding, custom fab, square tubing, angle line. That's all I've been doing. I haven't been doing any pipe at all, and that should have been my sign to practice, but I didn't. I want to be hard-headed. I was like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to practice. I done did this so many times. Then he tells me it's going to be a 60-10, 70-18 test. I'm like, I got this. Little do I know, I was wrong. I failed the test. So I get there, 6-inch schedule 40. I'm like, it's gonna be a breeze. So you know me, I like to have a nickel landing on there. I like to clean it up with the wire wheel. Don't like to do too much. Once again, use the wire wheel on the outside. I really don't like to clean it up, because with 60-10, you don't have to use the tiger disc like you'll do stainless or carbon steel. For those who don't know, when you get to the test lab, they'll have a remote on top. The remote is double digits. So what that means is if you want to run 80 amps, you're gonna have it on 40. If you have it on 50, you run at 100. You know, pretty simple. So I do 2 tacks. You know how I like it. One at 12 o'clock and one at 6. That's all I do. Got about 1 inch tack in there. Got a pretty tight gap. Me personally, this is another reason why I feel like I messed up. Whenever I do uphill, I like to use the 1/8 gap. That time I used a real small gap. You can still penetrate, don't get me wrong, but I feel more comfortable using that 1/8 gap. But I was like, I got this. I've been doing this plenty of times. So I go ahead and tack it up, get it ready. I run my route. And this is where I messed up at. When I'm doing my route from like 6 to about 9, I felt like I was way too hot, because I did turn it up because I was running a tighter gap. And instead of me following my gut feeling of, hey Rico, stop and turn it down, I want to be hard-headed and I want to keep fighting that keyhole. That keyhole kept on getting pretty big on me, but I kept on going. And I finished the route. I grind my bead nice and grind, no trash in there, grind everything. And I run my hot pass. I go ahead, do my hot pass, starting off from bottom to top. Do it, call QC. QC comes, he looks at it, knocks off all the slack. I didn't even knock off all the slack in my route. I thought I was good. So he knocks it off, and we realize that I have undercut all the way from 6 to about 8. And he's like, hey, check this out, you got undercut. So I'm like, hey, let me fix it. So I had another opportunity to do it the right way, but I didn't. So I get my metabo disc. I grind way more than I was supposed to. I grind the whole thing. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just grind it up. I want it to be a band in there. So I go ahead and do it. I run my bead. Once I finish cutting it, I go run my bead, call him back. He looks at it. a little rough, but it was still under tolerance. Looks at it, he's like, all right, keep going. So I finished it off, fill cap, done. I was gonna get footage with y'all, but me knowing that I messed up my route, it kind of threw me off. I wasn't in the mood to record anymore. I was just out of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna focus on getting this test done. Forget the camera, forget everything. I just wanna make sure I'm good. So next day comes, Victor calls me. He's like, hey, report to the job site. So, you know, I get up early in the morning. We have to be there for 7. I get there. Once I get there, we're about to start, you know, I'm meeting everybody. It's my first time working for this company. You're just showing us, there's a whole bunch of 6-inch Schedule 40. Basically, we just got to modify them, cut out the old welds, re-weld them up. Easy money. We in the shop. I got my boy Victor in this rig. By the way, this is his rig right here. He's running Advantage. So my homeboy Victor, he was in charge of cutting all the old welds out. As you can see, that he got his bevel machine set up. We was just cutting them out, and I was welding them up. By the way, this is his rig. Got the welding bed, old school Ford with the vantages in the back. And you know, I was set up too. I had a rollout wheel. Guys, when I mean I was laying some beads in there, check this bead out, man. It looks flawless. It looks A1. A band. I was a little worried because whenever I was testing, I'm like, do I still got it? But man, check this out, man. Nothing but wedding bands all day, and that was with a tight gap, man. Whenever we fit it up, it was very, very tight, so I had to turn it up and just bust through all that. But man, that bead came out beautiful. So I believe I ended up doing 3 6-inch welds, and around lunchtime, they call me and say, hey, come see. So they put me to the side, and he's like, hey man, we just got a call from the lab, and you actually failed the test. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they actually just been to your test, and from my understanding, one of the straps broke. So anyway, so I rolled everything up. I'm on my way home, and I get a call from my homeboy Edwin. Shout out to the homeboy Edwin. He's the one who calls me up and says he just met a guy that needs a welder to go to a water treatment plant to do some repairs on the old line that was all beat up and rusted. He wants to take that out and put new metal in there. It worked out for me, you know what I'm saying? Even though I lost that job, I gained another one. Huh? Yeah.
What's up, guys? We just made it to the job site. Got my rig down there. See, I got my torque ready to cut. So yeah, we are at a water plant. Think that's drinking water, Brian? They told us somebody's drinking water. I don't think it's drinking water. It looks pretty dirty. So yeah, this is game plan, guys. So we gotta cut this pipe. As you can see, they have holes in there. Cut everything out, all the way from the penetration right there. Take it out, and I got my new pipe down there on the jacks. Pretty, looks pretty simple and easy. Hopefully it goes like that. So about to get set up and cut.
All right, guys, so we actually got one of the pipes up. So it didn't give me a 45 like the old one, like on the one we cut out. It has a 45 that goes from this tank to the other one. It didn't give me one, so I'm gonna have to put a straight pipe coming across, and in order for that to happen, I'm gonna have to cut a pretty big hole. So right here I got some plate, some rings. I'm gonna cut that out, pipe slides in here, then you're gonna weld the outside layer of it, make sure. So for this new job at the water treatment plant, it didn't go well either, man. I finished the job, I got paid. I feel like I should have charged more. Usually my rate is a minimum of $100 an hour. He said I was too high, so I'm always willing to work. You know, I was trying to get back into working. So I told him 100 with the help. So he asked about how much I'm gonna charge him. I say, you know what, it's gonna be about 10 hours. Let's do $1,000 for this job. And it could have been a 10-hour job, but I wasn't prepared. Job site is me and my homie Brian. As if you see in our previous video, he's my helper. Most of the times when I do need a helper, he's the one that comes with me. So we go look at it, and it's nasty, it stinks. It's an old water treatment plant. We look at the job, and you know, it's okay. It's a nasty job, but it's paying. So what happened that went wrong is that, so around 2 p.m. my accidentally bottle runs out, and I'm like, fuck. So I told Brian, hey, let's roll up, let's hurry up and fill it up. So we ended up driving all, you know, in Houston, in Houston, traffic's ridiculous. So it took us like an hour and a half just to go get the bottles refilled up. By the time we come back, it was 4 p.m. I was already annoyed. Once I get there, I get set up, we unroll, we're going back to finish cutting some of those inserts out, and my torch stops working. Dude, that pissed me off, man. My torch stopped working. I think one of the seals broke, which wasn't allowing me to have pressure inside my torch, so I couldn't cut. So I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? I called my homeboy Victor up, because he stays not too far from there. I called him up. He says he got one for me. It's the short barrel ones, the ones that you use for the ones that you use for bevel. I didn't care. I just wanted something so I could cut that insert out. So we roll up once again. We go to Victor's house. We come back. His torch doesn't work. So it's already like 5:36 and we're halfway done, and the guy's like, so I tell the client, I'm like, hey man, things aren't really working out. Can we finish this tomorrow? I was already mentally burnt out. I was just out of it. And he's like, well, we need to finish it today, because if that spills to the ground, then they're gonna get fined $10,000, and the plant doesn't want to have to pay that money. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's figure it out. So I told Brian, hey, look, this is what it is. We just try to work with something. So we decided just to cut the insert out with Metabo disc. We working on it. It's like 9 p.m. I'm like, you know what? I had enough. I told the guy, look, we did just enough just for it not to leak. We're gonna have to come back tomorrow when I have a torch, because I cannot cut that insert out without a torch. So next day came, Brian couldn't come with me because he had something to do. So I went to the job site, and around, I got there about 7, about 10:30, I was finally done. It could have been a much easier process, but it is what it is. I could have made more, I could have made $1,000 in one day, but it's still good, you know. I still made a new connect. From the looks of it, he did like it, and he did invite me to the next job. Supposedly, we're gonna go do some Schedule 10 piping. He's not a welder. He doesn't know much about the piping, so I'll take over all the welding side of it. So I'm very excited for that. Hopefully that comes through. I'm excited to do some pipe welding, man, because, you know, ever since I've been having my welding shop, guys, like I mentioned before, I don't do any really pipe work. That's what I like to do. I'm a pipe welder. I like welding pipe. None of this basic structurals. What's up, guys? I want to take a little break to introduce y'all the new TIG rig that just got in town. This is SnakeBelly's. It's going for $220. Now, if you're interested in this product, I'm gonna have a link in the description box below. It also pinned to the comments. Now, this is totally different than most TIG rigs that they have out now. One thing I like about it is it comes with an insulated neck. According to SnakeBelly, you can do a root without having the glove, because this will protect your fingers from the TIG torch getting hot. It's also a 250 amp TIG rig, and it comes with warranty. Another thing I like about it is that it's 15 feet long. Most TIG rigs are 10 foot. Another thing that is different from most TIG rigs, that you have your hose connected to your male connection. TIG rig feels really high quality. I really like the colors that they went with. Another thing that I really like, they went with one hose, not two. I'm not a big fan of the two hoses. I like how they did the pretty thick neck on it, which makes it a lot easier to grab. Shout out to SnakeBelly. Check them out. Like I said, link in the description box. Okay, guys, so those of y'all who've been following my channel, my journey, since December, I've been talking about a welding school. I told y'all that y'all gonna get paid tuition and all that, and it still hasn't came through, guys. I do apologize, especially for the guys who did sign up. I'm just kind of tired of waiting, so I decided just to open up the welding school. We are taking students in. Shout out to the guys who came to the welding school. I had a couple guys. I even had a guy who came out from Dallas. He was struggling with Schedule 10 stainless. We got down. He did amazing, guys. He did really good compared to how he started to the last coupon that we did. Man, he did amazing. Shout out to my boy Eddie. He got down some Schedule 10 stainless. So we do have different courses available. You could either come through for a day to practice before your weld test, what I should have did. We got day passes, 4-hour passes, strictly one-on-one with me. We could do a week, all the way up to 6 weeks, depending on what you're trying to learn. For example, I had my boy Jose. He hit me up saying that he had a weld test coming up. It was going to be 60-10, and he came through. He booked a week with me, and we ran through coupons like crazy. But man, it played out. It worked out for him. He invested his money, and it worked out for him, man. He actually landed the job. He's actually in Louisiana right now, making money. Some students pick up faster than others, but one thing about the advantage that you have about coming to my welding school is that I only do do 4 students at a time. And the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure that you're getting taught the right way. I have eyes on you. I'm noticing where you're messing up at, so I can pick you up and let you know what you're doing wrong. I feel like, no shade to any other schools, but I feel like a lot of schools take on so many students that it's so hard for the instructor to really pay attention to what you're struggling with. So there's something that I'm doing. This is my brand. I will let y'all know, guys, I'm a little bit more expensive than other welding schools, but like I said, you'll get plenty of one-on-one with me. I'm there full time. I'm paying attention to where you're liking it. Like Jose, I was with him 3 days, guys. He got down 60-10, got it down in 3 days, which shows me that this actually works better. But we have in-house payments. You can pay weekly, bi-weekly, and if money is the issue for you, we do have partners with Meritize. Meritize basically like student loans. They go off your credit, school. They basically use a whole bunch of other things. They basically use a whole bunch of things to build you a profile to get you approved for student loans. Now, if you do decide to go with Meritize, this is a little bit more expensive, simply because you'll pay interest. The good side about Meritize is that they give you a 3-month grace period after you finish school before you start sending the payments in, and you do have smaller monthly payments than you'll do if it was in-house. We do have another partner for the guys who are coming from out of state, where they'll help you with cheaper assistant living, either it's with a dorm or the roommate. So there is an option for y'all guys who don't live in Texas or don't live in Houston, who want to come to the welding school. I could definitely help you out with that. Now, for those of y'all who's saying, so you're running the welding school and you can't pass the welding test, now I do know how to weld, guys. It's just that I made some stupid mistakes, and you know, I'm a human. I make mistakes. It happened. I know a whole bunch of welders who've been welding for years, and you know, they failed a test or two recently. But it is what it is. I know some of y'all might think that, why am I trying to run the welding school and teach other people if I'm doing this and that? Thing is, I've been took plenty of 60, 10, 70, 18 tests, and this is actually the first time that I failed one, and it's crazy, but it is what it is. But yeah, guys, those of y'all who are interested in welding, make sure y'all hit me up. I'm gonna have the link in the description box below. If you want trying to book, have more questions, you can email me. That's the best way to reach me. Instagram DM is not the best way to reach me. Email it is. You can also text me or whatever you want to do. Let me know. I'll try to work with your schedule. We're gonna be open from 7 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. So we do have morning, middle, and night classes. So if you're interested, man, let me know, guys. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Like I said, this channel is to show y'all the good, the bad, the ugly, anything that I come across, I will share it with y'all. But I'll see you in the next one. Peace.